this because, posterity stuff. Hey, welcome to Night of the Comic. We were talking about movies with apes in them, but not Planet of the Apes. Stuff like Spy Mate, or it's a
Codename Spy Mate.
Yeah. So
there's also a series of movies called like Santa Buddies.
Sure. Well, yeah, of course, the little golden retriever dogs. Now we're going down a different path. If you're talking Beethoven, like that's a whole different thing. Hey, look at Dave.
I took my sleeves off for you guys.
That makes my day.
So many of the shirts that I own are sleeveless that I don't even.
Yeah, and yet I was the one getting shit on.
Yeah, my screen name should be Sleeveless in Seattle.
Damn it!
I only have a few that have sleeves, and I almost deliberately wore sleeves this morning, and I was like, I don't want to keep digging through this drawer looking for a shirt with sleeves.
What's the Christmas song about sleeves?
Oh, green sleeves?
Green sleeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the one.
And then Spooky Buddies came out.
Oh, the Halloween one.
Yeah.
One of the dogs was an astronaut in that.
Yeah, I think
that's called Space Buddies.
Well, but wasn't one of them dressed up as an astronaut for the Halloween one too?
All the time, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's always dressed like an astronaut. I think we're showing that we have way too much knowledge of this franchise.
Of talking animal movies.
Wonderful.
I love them.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to watch a chimpanzee skate on a half
I still love the Beethoven franchise.
Really? Yeah, see, not me.
Well, it's
and not me,
that's
just because you like it, and that's all. That's the only reason.
That's the only reason.
I like it because when the original, people forget the plot of the original movie was about an evil vet who wanted to kidnap Beethoven just to shoot him in the skull with a hollow point bullet.
Are you serious?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna watch that movie tonight.
It's pretty dark.
That is literally the plot of it. Like, it is about an evil vet who just wants Beethoven's skull to shoot.
Nice. That's pretty awesome.
Like, it's like the most ridiculous. I love and Charles Grodin. I mean, come on.
Yeah. His best film is a movie called Clifford with Martin Short.
Oh,
yeah, I'm aware of
yes, that. Clifford.
It was a weird movie.
I like any Martin Short movie I can get my hands on. I'm into it.
But that one's just in its own fucking world. Like, there's Martin Short movies, and then there's fucking Clifford. Like, it's so weird.
It is weird. It's a weird movie.
Because no one was like, you had your Eddie Murphy or whatever, playing different roles. And I don't know. It just seems such a far stretch, like to infer that he's a little boy, and it just makes it so uncomfortable.
It's kind of like that Stewart character they used to do on Mad TV.
Yeah. It was a lot like Stewart. Yeah.
What I can do. Yeah. So.
But I actually am kind of kicking myself because I didn't wear my Punisher wife beater today.
Well,
how appropriate would that have been?
Super appropriate. Totes a prop, as they like to say.
Is that what they like to say? Does anyone actually say that?
Yeah, kids love it.
Yeah.
What is this? Why am I getting a notification?
You're not. I just gaslighted you.
No.
This is the worst show we've ever done.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I hate it.
We've done a lot of bad shows.
None worse than this.
But I just wanted to pull that up for you. Do you see that?
So
yeah.
Yes. So I mean, I guess if we're diving right in.
Yeah, you
the old thing we talked about.
Punisher. They said there's not much Marvel can do about cops using Punisher's logo.
Yeah, the basic gist of that article was that it said there's not much they can do because cops aren't trying to sell it. Like you can buy a Punisher sticker and slap it on your gun or whatever, your car, whatever. What do they have? Patrol vehicles. I don't know what the hell they're called. But then I sent you guys that article last night. That debate again, the shortened version of it basically said if Marvel decided to go after the people that are producing these unlicensed Punisher skulls, that's what they could do because there are a lot of unofficial.
Yeah, but they don't. It's the same reason why they don't at Comic-Cons. Like, it's just too much work financially and man time hours to go after these people because you don't win anything at the end. Like,
exactly.
You know?
Like, and also,
even if you are awarded, like, then you got to get a third fucking party to determine how much money they made off of the stickers, and then what? The company that quote unquote makes the stickers goes bankrupt, and no one goes to jail, and no one pays any penalties or fines or compensation, and nothing happens, And somebody else, and then they just start a new LLC and start making stickers.
And I mean, not to it's a sensitive topic, but current times aside, then you have to deal with the PR of Disney suing police.
Yeah, that's kind of a tricky area, I guess.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of it being completely different problem where, how they have like the Times Square Elmos and stuff. Like, what if the cops were just dressing up as the characters? Completely.
But the reason I said now, I want to save some of this. I always said that I wanted Justin on an episode that we talk about the Punisher, but to me, that is about the actual character that I would like to talk about versus this topic. But to me, the reason is simple, and they did confront this in a issue a year ago, last year. In the Punisher run by Josh Rosenberg, I think is his name. I know his last name is Rosenberg. But he had a scene where the Punisher encounters two cops that have his logo on their car.
Really?
And they were kind of freaking out, like, oh my God, it's the man himself, and this and that. And he goes, and I should have actually probably screen captured that so we could share it.
I can try to find it while you're talking about it.
But the basic gist of it, again, I'm going to keep using that term. Is he says, you guys took an oath to protect and serve. The Punisher
punishes.
He's a fucking cold-blooded killer.
Yeah.
He's judge, jury, and executioner. How is this even a debate?
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
He's an anti-hero, going back to a couple episodes ago. He's not necessarily a good guy, and have they tackled? I haven't read every Punisher book, but have they ever tackled him killing the wrong guy or someone that's innocent?
I mean, it was touched on briefly, but I mean, if you do that, there's been some random. Yep, that's the one actually right there. He peels the sticker off their car and he rips it up and he says, if you guys want an idol, go. Captain America's always looking for more or something.
It's kind of cool.
It is.
Even out of the context of today, it's we just want to make sure
Well, it's again I get the Punisher skull is a cool logo.
Yeah.
Period. But you shouldn't want cops, and again, not to get into too heavy a subject. Why would you want a cop idolizing a character, Garth Ennis, who is, in my opinion, the greatest Punisher writer of all time. He wrote the Punisher for so long. He's the guy that got my interest in the Punisher to 11. Said it himself, Punisher's not a good person. He's a cold-blooded killer. Period. He has a body count arguably in the millions at this point. That's the polar opposite of what cops are supposed to do.
You got a cold?
I mean, it's just morning allergies.
Oh, hey, you know what? My kids were watching Garfield yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
First time. They coincidentally, post our talks about Normal, discovered Garfield.
Normal.
Oh, this is their first time with Garfield.
Yeah, all on their own, too. I just walked out of my office and then looked at the television, and both of them were huddled in front of fucking Jason Cretton, just dressed up like a goddamn cat. And
Uncle Jason.
What are you doing stuck in the TV?
Are you guys familiar with I'm Sorry, John? It's a subreddit.
No.
Oh boy. Hold on. I'm going to bring up.
I've seen so many different wonderful incarnations of Garfield cartoons, or like the strip.
Yeah.
There's one great one where I think they just eliminate John.
Oh yes.
Out of all everything, and so it's really strange.
That's where they got rid of Garfield.
Yeah, or they got rid of Garfield
with no Garfield.
So
there's another one called Lasagna Cat. Have you seen Lasagna Cat?
Oh, hold on. Let me go to Reddit instead.
It's a live action reenactment of like cartoons. So this one guy just dresses up like John, and another guy dresses up like a cat, and they just like, play out one strip. It's pretty great.
It's a great idea, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm Sorry, John is a subreddit. I used to follow, but actually I couldn't take it anymore.
Too much work.
Well, look at these. They're all these disturbing drawings of Garfield and John, and it's called I'm Sorry, John, because he's like, Garfield's like this Cthulhuoid style,
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
It's just us now, John.
I thought you guys might enjoy this. I like this one as the nun. But it's all these evil Garfields, and some of them are real nightmarish.
These are wonderful.
Yeah.
I will spend days here.
Yeah. I'm Sorry, John. Enjoy it.
I'm Sorry, John.
Yep.
Transformation. Oh, look at this one.
There's a whole comic here.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah. So do we?
So did you guys have an opinion on it?
Opinion on what, John?
On the Punisher.
Being sorry to John.
I think it's scary that there is a mentality among law enforcement and the military sometimes too, where pretty common, where it attracts bullies to the profession.
Yeah.
And then they co-opt, like, just in general, like, I think it's it's a byproduct of the kind of, as bad as it sounds, like the kind of entertainment we grew up on. You can only watch Rambo so many times before you want to buy a survival knife and go out and, gut somebody with it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that,
part
actually.
of it. No? What are your thoughts on that?
I've watched Rambo a lot, and
you never had Rambo toys when you were a kid?
Sure.
You never wanted to survive the fucking Rambo knife?
Well, I have the Rambo knife, but I don't go out and use it.
But you fantasized about it. That's why you own it, right?
Yeah, that's why you have the knife.
Well, of course I fantasized about Rambo. I mean, his knife.
Yeah. Well, my opinion of people, the same cops who put that Punisher logo.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
On there, I think are living out a fantasy that they've had since they were kids of being this tough guy.
Sure.
And
but they're also forgetting the part where his family was brutally massacred.
Or that this is real life and not a comic book, for example.
I think that you ask any cop and they're all going to justify why, they do what they do. And so that's, the Punisher's justification is that. But what's even stranger is, like time and time again, culturally, those who love comic books to a unhealthy level, I'm being sarcastic when I say unhealthy, just like, those of us that really love, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm talking about you. If you go to Comic-Cons, I'm talking about you, right? We are constantly made fun of or mocked for doing cosplay or dressing up or wearing, even like I used to get the shit beat out of me for wearing an X-Men t-shirt back in the day, just to paint a picture of what the comic book climate has changed, because now it's pretty normal for someone to wear an X-Men shirt, but I got
now you get beat up for not wearing one.
Yeah, I got beat up once for wearing a fucking X-Men shirt. So we're constantly mocked, like for like and the argument that the normal people use is, oh, it's all pretend, yet they wear, basketball jerseys and all that. And the argument is that they're real people, whatever it is. But I just find it incredibly ironic and sort of like funny that of all people, cops are using a fictitious character as their mascot, in the same way that they bully. And I'm thinking about how, like, they're reappropriated bullies from high school that have become cops, right? And now they're doing the same things that they used to beat us up for.
Right.
Sure. I know that's a very solid point, actually.
I also wonder when I see this this news piece, like, how many of them really know what the logo is?
Right.
Sure.
Who are
you're getting into that, yeah. Like, how many have actually read a Punisher comic?
Right.
None.
Or did they just hear from a friend, like, oh yeah, it's this cool character that shoots people?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or they saw the movies, right?
Sure.
Because that's the most pedestrian way to assume that illiterate America. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Shallow and pedantic.
But it is like that thing I brought up to you guys yesterday about Jerry Conway, the creator of the Punisher, making that post. Even that, though, it's like, as much as I'm interested in what he means and what his project might be, it's, he worded it, and again, I don't have it in front of me, but he worded it saying, like, reclaiming the Punisher symbol as a symbol of justice.
Mm.
And it's like, was it ever? Like, now, this is where to me, you're getting into an interesting topic about the character of the Punisher.
Right.
Because it is, and it's funny, the reason I want Justin on an episode is because we've both loved Punisher. We had a little Punisher reading club for a moment, but we both have like a different interpretation of the character, in that, going back to the Jerry Conway thing, to me, the Punisher was never a symbol of justice. Hi, Dave.
You know what that sound is? It's you and Justin kissing.
Oh, I thought it was birds singing.
Hey, you know what? Guess who introduced us to each other, buddy?
That's why he did it. He's a yenta. He's a matchmaker.
Yep.
But you know what I mean? Like,
have my own reality show.
The Punisher was introduced as a guy trying to kill Spider-Man. Now, obviously, it was like turned out to be a whole misunderstanding. Spider-Man's a good guy, but he was introduced as an anti-hero, like you said, as a guy that shoots people. So I don't know.
I think honestly, you're right. Justin's a good person to have on the show to discuss Punisher, and I feel a little bit out of my element. I read War Zone or War Journal back in the day, and I really don't think I've picked up a Punisher book since. But it also says something about. That doesn't mean I don't like him. I'm just saying, I know. But it does say something about his character that, sure. After the point that he avenges his family's death, like he gets rid of the fucking people who killed them, he decides to keep on going. He doesn't say, mission accomplished.
There's different. Yes, it's exactly it. There's different ways to interpret the character. You do have like the walking the fine line of kind of corny comic book character when he's first introduced.
Mm.
Then you get into like what you just said, like the Punisher War Journal stuff. When you read that, it is straight up pure old school, like men's like fantasy, pulp character.
Right.
Where it's just like a guy who's a badass who gets put into these situations of, oh, I'm on a train, and it turns out there's a serial killer on the train, and I have to save everyone.
Right.
Like that type of stuff where, someone planted a bomb in the White House. Time to go kill some terrorists.
Someone put pineapple on his pizza. He will stand for it. It's un-American.
Delicious. I mean,
I love pineapple on my pizza, but I'm going to guess that Frank Castle would stab someone in the head.
But then you have like the Garth Ennis with, Garth Ennis always tries to add a level of, because Garth Ennis is a war nut, and he tries to dive deeper into the character. And, he's the one who kind of said, for someone like the Punisher to exist, that person is insane.
Yeah.
The Punisher would be insane to kill that many people.
Right.
Period. And again, he's playing judge, jury, and executioner.
Right.
There are probably, you could go through Punisher comics and probably find many crimes he's intercepted that aren't death penalty crimes.
Did he really like dig that deep into it and like present him
absolutely.
as an unhinged, like psychologically not fit human being? Wow, that's great.
Yes, there's a story arc in particular he wrote called Up is Down, Black is White.
Yeah.
Where the Punisher thought he was like losing his grasp on reality. And it was getting pretty dark in that he was talking about having dreams where he rescues the innocent people, but then he finds himself still pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Like,
it's interesting. You just talking about, the kind of war aspect of the Punisher and actual judgments on the use of violence and that sort of thing. I was reading Two-Fisted Tales and
EC Comics.
Yeah,
wow.
I know, surprise, and Frontline Combat last night before bed. And I've noticed a pattern among them that the message is almost always that war is hell, violence is the last possible solution to anything, and if you take the violence home with you in any way, it will end up blowing up in your face. You'll be the victim of it. Like, there's a story
that actually is a very big topic in the Garth Ennis miniseries Born that he wrote about the Punisher's origin.
Yeah,
about not being able to turn that off.
Yeah, there's this guy in one of the comics that I read last night. The story is he loves stabbing people with his knife. In Korea, they're in Korea. It's the Korean War. And this guy's just obsessed with keeping his knife sharp and stabbing people with it and he just loves killing. He's one of those messed up guys that lucked out and ended up, in a position where he could legally kill other people.
Which was a real thing.
Right.
It still is. It's not indifferent from what we were saying about some police officers.
Right. And they end up capturing this, actually, I don't remember if it was Korea or World War II. Regardless, that doesn't matter. But they captured this enemy commander.
Does he stab him?
He's trying to, and they stop.
Does he call the knife Stabby?
Yeah, Stabby.
Little Stabby.
He wants to kill him, but the rest of the guys in his squadron are like, "What are you talking about? Have you ever heard of the Geneva Convention? No way. He's a enemy combatant, combatant." POW, we're going to follow the rules. We're taking him back. We're going to treat him in our medic tent. And during that same raid, the guy's brother, who was always playing the harmonica, is injured in that same raid, and he's taken back to be treated. And they put him on a blood transfusion and all this. And the guy in the middle of the night sneaks in, not knowing his brother is in there because the commander had died. The enemy combatant they had died, so they gave him the bed to his brother, and he ends up killing his own brother.
I'm sorry, that's a little bit funny because
What did you think about his harmonica playing? Was it good?
Yeah, was it good?
But that's how they knew. That's how he knew it was his brother, because the harmonica falls out of the bed.
Yeah.
And he's like,
"Oh my God, of all the people I've stabbed, now I've stabbed my own brother.
Damn you, little Stabby."
Now, I'm going to just do this on the cusp right here.
Yeah.
Night of the comic drinking game.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Anytime Freddy brings up EC Comics.
Or little Stabby.
Anytime Dave or I bring up Rob Liefeld or 90s comics.
Yeah.
Anytime sleeveless shirts are brought up, or Garfield.
Dave is a
So anyway, you were talking about EC. Now let's talk about Rob Liefeld. That was a joke.
Okay.
Hey, I did get to the comic shop yesterday.
The comic shop?
The comic shop.
Go on. Nice story, people.
It's a good thought, Jason.
I didn't get to read anything yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Anyone else?
What's the out of doors like?
It was all right. It was all right. I went to Home Depot. Yesterday. I went to Home Depot, got some hanging plants.
You're not supposed to go to Home Depot anymore.
You went to Home Depot. You got the rake.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going anymore.
Wait.
I have to go to Lowe's now.
What did Home Depot do?
Oh, you're different reasons. Okay, yes.
They donated like $400,000 to the Trump 2020 campaign.
Did they?
Yeah.
That's it for me. I like Lowe's better anyway. It's just further from my house. Because I mean, I hate to say it, but like every time I go to Home Depot or I order anything from them, something goes wrong. Like with like.
Yeah, you guys got breaking rakes and shovels.
Yeah, that's right. Breaking rakes.
That was my fault, breaking the shovel. But I mean, like, rakes. I ordered, not to go on an old man rant, but I ordered this grill.
Here we go.
And they're supposed to assemble this damn thing for me. I ordered it. It took them like 2 weeks when it was supposed to be like that Tuesday that I ordered it.
Yeah.
And then I call him and the lady's like, I'm not going to lie to you. The guy who does that just hasn't been showing up for work.
That's the best. I love it.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
You do know that like that is like that's like code in like retail and like customer service of like we just haven't gotten to it.
That he hasn't been showing up.
Well, yeah, you just blame it on like an invisible person that hasn't been showing up.
Well, the funny
thing that person, it turns out that person just quit.
I guess they use like a contractor that's all they do. They're like Kane from Kung Fu. They wander from store to store and assemble grills.
Kane from Kung Fu.
Yeah.
He's a wanderer.
Just wondering.
He's a drifter.
Some guy accused of a crime he didn't commit.
And a deep spiritual.
And now all you can do is travel from Home Depot to Home Depot and assemble grills.
I was thinking, it's weird that we bring this up. I was thinking about the whole drifter concept in film, and how that's so abandoned. And it was so like populated in 1980s movies. Everyone was a drifter.
John Rambo.
Exactly. Yeah. He was a fucking drifter. And they're like, hey, drifter, don't drift here. Drift somewhere else. And
keep on drifting, buddy.
Ensues.
You're drifting on me. Drifters are great. Drifter stories are great. They Live, for example, we were just talking about in the last episode. Yeah. I think smartphones may have killed the drifter genre in a lot of respects.
Okay.
In a way. Well, I think part of it is that, if you picked up a drifter, they're going to know things about him just by going online, like you know what I mean?
It's like the hitchhiker thing,
right? Yeah, like the mystery of a person drifting into a town. We don't have that closed off mentality anymore, to where there is a small town where if a stranger wanders in, they're like, "Ooh, who's this mysterious stranger?"
Yeah,
and they're like, "I'm gonna use Google face recognition and know everything about you."
But like also, like,
speaking of which.
As a kid, like I used to see like hitchhikers all the fucking time, like.
Oh, you mean in real life? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and I think that's why it was like used in stories, because it was relatable. It was something that happened in life. You saw hitchhikers, you saw drifters coming to town,
Yeah, Uber killed that.
I don't think we have that. Is right? Like,
yes,
I can't remember the last time I saw a hitchhiker.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
It's high tech hitchhiking now.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, give me 5, I'll give you 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, and I actually, right when I brought this up, I kind of thought maybe I shouldn't share this story on a podcast.
Why?
But so I'll shorten it. But the other day, let's just say in public, I had someone recognize me from Whorehound Radio, but I was wearing a mask.
They just recognize your voice.
Your voice, yeah.
Well, that's what I said to the guy. I was like, "Oh, you recognize my voice through the mask?" And he said, "No, your tattoos."
I was going to say your smell.
Yeah, Dave, thank you for your facial reaction, Dave, because that's the reaction I kind of had. And then it goes to what you just said, Freddy. He actually said, he's like, "Yeah, I wasn't sure, and I just looked it up on Facebook."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it was like, "Oh, hello. Please don't wear my skin later."
When you said you were wearing a mask, I don't know why I didn't immediately go to like a pandemic mask. I thought you were wearing a Halloween mask.
Holy shit, that's weird that you say that. I did this exact same thing. I just assumed he was in a Spider-Man mask the whole time you were telling that story. You were at a grocery store with a fucking Spider-Man mask on. I didn't even skip a beat.
Actually, you know what? I appreciate that.
Yeah. I was like, for some reason, I've seen Jason in masks so often that I just presume it was like a superhero mask.
Yeah, or he was at a convention or something.
But yeah, we wear masks now. It's not weird anymore.
I appreciate that, actually. That's okay.
Yeah.
I love that Freddy said a Halloween mask and Dave said a Spider-Man mask. I'm very flattered by that.
This is like a huge Rorschach test right now.
When actually I was wearing a zipper mask.
A
Superman mask?
With a ball.
I was wearing a zipper mask.
You're like, my wolf.
No, hold on.
Bondage ball.
That's what your microphone looks like. Maybe that was inspired by that. Maybe that's what it was designed for, so people could still talk when they had the ball gag in.
There you go.
Oh.
The garbage man is here.
Oh, the garbage man.
Isn't it weird, though, that we live so far away from you, Dave, but our garbage days are on the same day?
Oh, my God.
It is weird. Makes you
almost like it was meant to be.
Black holes do exist.
I totally believe in angels now.
We should do a whole episode on drifters.
No, we should do an episode on angels. Angels and drifters.
We'll just do Highway to Heaven.
Right.
It got both.
I wrote a song
about it. Let's not forget the time that the Punisher was an angel.
Was he?
Yeah.
A drifter angel.
The famous 4-part story where he got turned into an avenging angel.
I never read that.
Yeah, most people didn't.
You remember when
where did Rambo get his name?
Where did Rambo get his name?
Yeah.
First Blood.
The book First Blood.
Rambo.
But it's a kind of apple. It's a red apple.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And there's a Rambo apple?
Yeah, you know it.
Have you guys seen Rambo Last Blood?
Fucking knives that come out.
Oh, yeah, that movie was awesome.
What movie?
The new Rambo, I liked it. Somebody told me they thought it was unwatchable, and I'm like,
it looks unwatchable.
It's actually really
great.
Fun. It's like
Is it?
It's like the worst of the Death Wish movies.
Yes.
If you like the bad Death Wish movies, you'll like the new Rambo.
Let me guess.
It is.
Let me guess. It could just be anybody, right?
Yes.
It
does not have to be John Rambo at all.
Yeah. So you just watch it as a movie and you don't say this is a Rambo movie because then
you could have been just like Stallone playing a random dude.
Johnny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. I think Rambo had a great send off in the last Rambo movie from like 2008.
Yeah.
Like where he. Well, what? You got a problem with Rambo?
I love the first three.
Yeah. Well,
number 4 is so much better than number 3.
Well, the thing about Rambo in general is that first Rambo movie, First Blood, in and of itself is like this great commentary on the vets coming home, and it says something, and it's a great movie, and it's actually a play on Frankenstein, which is something like that. Who does that? And then they made sequels.
Yeah. Then you get Rambo 2, which is like. Yes, the most stereotypical 80s action movie in the best way possible.
Right.
Yeah. They're dynamically two different movies. Like, they're very different.
Right.
Stallone was trying to make his next Rocky. And
right.
Yes, like, the first one is based on a book, as we mentioned before. Like, there is a lot of subtext. It's deep. It's not just an action movie. Like, there's a lot going on. All those characters are developed. They have motivations all of their own, great movie. Having said that, Rambo 2 is where it's fucking at. Like, that is just
it is so over the top. It is great
entertainment. Like, that is one of the best movies.
If you like Rambo 2, you will probably like Last Blood because it's that same thing. It throws out the thing is like meaning. It's like meaning. No, throw the meaning out. This is not art. This is.
But you see, and I think that's a great point. To go from the First Blood to First Blood Part 2, which is one of the funniest fucking names for a movie ever.
Yeah.
But it's exactly with Rambo in 2008.
Yeah.
They did try to put some meaning in that about a guy, kind of what we were just talking about, like a Vietnam vet who can't let it go and saw a bunch of fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Versus Last Blood, where it's just like, literally it is like a movie that is just about like a 70-year-old dude who wants to kill people.
Yeah.
I mean, they did give him a reason in this movie, but it is so over the top violent.
And it smacks of a weird racism too in points where you're kind of like, but it's so entertaining that you're like, who cares?
They put like 80s characters in that, 80s stereotypes.
Yeah. And it's like blatantly socially irresponsible, but the entertainment value, again, it's one of those things where you're just like, again, it's like The Punisher, where you're like, it's just so entertaining that, you know, maybe it's as bad for society, but I'm just going to eat popcorn and enjoy it.
So I think all the years, I think that's where we differ. And maybe this is a critique on myself. I don't watch movies or read books like that. Like, no, if it's like in your face, I'll catch it, you know, but like most of the time I'm just like, yeah, it's just who cares? Entertain me. Like, I like to shut my brain off and watch Stallone cut people's legs off and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, same. It's entertainment. Like to me, like sometimes even meaning sometimes will bog down the process of being entertained to where I'm just like, this isn't giving me the therapy that I need right now to make me forget about reality.
Right.
You know, so like I get that. I mean, I love to watch art movies and to watch movies that deliberately have meaning, but I have to almost be prepared for that sort of thing.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yo,
I agree.
100%.
Because it's the polar opposite of what you said. It's not necessarily an escapism from reality. It's a comment on reality, right?
Right.
They're pointing out realities. And so,
I like when people dig deep, and I like when people find hidden meanings and stuff stuff like that. But I also sometimes like to just be, you know, a 12-year-old kid who says, I like to see the Punisher shoot guys.
Right. And you know what? There's to get back to They Live. There are very few films I feel like that successfully you can watch them two different ways and get two different experiences out of it. And I go back to They Live. Like, you can watch that movie and be dumb as an ox and just be entertained, and that's all it is. And then you can watch that movie and scratch your chin until it fucking bleeds.
Or, you know, you could co-opt it for a white supremacist organization. Do you know about that?
That the people that wear glasses are, or the aliens are?
No, well, what I'm saying is that the real world there are neo-Nazi organizations that use They Live as part of their propaganda.
Oh,
it was co-opted by them, and John Carpenter came out a few years ago, I think, and like disavowed that interpretation of the movie and everything. It was
well, I certainly hope so.
But I mean, it's worth mentioning, you know, like since we're talking about it, that that it's been co-opted in a really scary way, in which these white supremacists say that the other that you see when you put the sunglasses on are the quote unquote, you know, Jews that control the world thing, you know?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. It's scary.
Well, I mean, I see it the other way, you know, like I see white supremacists, you know, hiding amongst us, infiltrating all of our different institutions, and, you know, are plotting and doing all this horrible shit to fuck up society. And it's up to us to open our eyes a little wider and seek them out and find out where they are, you know?
Yeah.
You know what? I like when the Punisher shoots guys.
Me too. Did you see Ice Cube is in a little bit of trouble for sharing? If you look into it, just Google the news Ice Cube. You'll find it.
Ice Cube do something controversial?
Well, he did something anti-Semitic, and whether he knew he was doing it or not, I don't know. But he was sharing imagery and stuff that's used by the white supremacist movement.
Really?
But part of it was stuff from They Live, is why I brought that up.
Huh.
The obey signs and all that. His feed is full of that.
What a bunch of fucking jackasses, though, trying to reappropriate, like, you know, like everything that Shepard Fairey reappropriated that and has taken it to such a left-wing political statement that do they not fucking know? Like, are they just
it does go to circle it back around. Like, again, I am a huge Punisher fan.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I wear my Punisher shirt, I feel like
that shit.
I feel like a douchebag.
Yep, I agree.
Like, of all the comic book tattoos I have, the first two I ever had was, get this, a Punisher skull and a Superman symbol.
I started, getting really like neck deep into collecting sneakers and ball caps. And my favorite wrestler probably of all time outside of the Ultimate Warrior is Shinsuke Nakamura. And he did a collaboration, and somehow the WWE allowed it. He did a collaboration with his company, and they made like a fitted, cap for Nakamura. And his colors are black and red. And so for whatever reason, he decided to make this hat all red with black lettering. And I was so happy to get it. Like, it was like finally like a wrestling merchandise that I feel okay wearing, because a lot of it was really trashy. So I was wearing my fucking cool red hat, walking down fucking 6th Avenue in New York City, and everyone's just fucking staring at me and staring me down. And I'm like, oh, I'm wearing a fucking red hat because I'm wearing such a cool in New York City. and I can never fucking wear that thing again. Like,
well, why? I don't know
for the same reason. It looks like a MAGA hat. It looks like I'm a Trump supporter.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about that.
For the same reasons you can't wear a Punisher skull anymore. It's like I can't wear my fucking Nakamura hat, and it sucks.
And Hawaiian shirts are now becoming, because of the Boogaloo movement.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, these white well, I wouldn't call them white supremacists because I don't really know enough about the organization. But they're far right. Guys who carry like AR-15s and stuff and they have beards and they wear Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah.
And I have a beard and I wear Hawaiian shirts all the time because I love Hawaiian shirts. Just because I like tiki culture and I want to drink a lot of tiki drinks.
Yeah.
And my idea is that when I see a Hawaiian shirt, it's like, put tiki drinks in here where my mouth is.
Right.
And their idea is something completely different, and it's scary. So, I feel like that's been ruined. I mean, I'm going to try to take it back.
And we're just going to cry it out here on Night of the Comic.
Yeah, what an uplifting podcast.
So long, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Speaking of, it is so long.
So what would happen if Rob Liefeld drew some EC comics?
It'd be amazing.
Those would be lovely.
I got to play us out because I got to do the day job. We'll do this again very soon. Maybe talk about drifters.